Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob and today we are gonna be continuing the narration and character voice acting for the side story, The Rides to Lake Silberneherze. Alright, part 2, which means the usual shenanigans, but before we begin so, to anybody who is bumping into the narration through this very episode, the playlist is down in the description of the video at the very top, or down in the pinned comment in the comment section below. So, hit it and enjoy, and thank you very much. Speaking of thank yous as well, guys, thank you very much for all the comments and the likes on the previous episode. I cannot stress enough, really helpful, really help a lot in the algorithm as well, so thank you. Thank you for all of that, and just watching in general. Thank you very much. Speaking of comments, there was one that sent me down a rabbit hole because it's a reference to something and I couldn't remember to what, even though I did hear it without watching the show, because I saw the clip at some point in my life. Which came from Bloody Fish, who said, simply, and this is for all of you Breaking Bad fans out there, simply said, Leto, stone statue? Sirius, they're minerals, Mary, Jesus Christ! Sorry. There we go. I couldn't remember where I saw that clip from. I literally just typed in "they're minerals, Mary" into Google and I saw the clip. I remembered watching that at some point. I don't know where, how, and when. I watched it somewhere, maybe in a clip collection, maybe something. It's great. It's such a good scene even without knowing what the hell the rest of it is. Anyway, thank you, Bloody. That was nice. That sent me down a nice rabbit hole. Maybe one day I will actually watch Breaking Bad. Who knows? I don't know why I didn't watch it yet. I'm a Bryan Cranston fan. Anyway, that's for another time. For now, let's begin with the usual here on part 2s and so on and so forth, which is the quick recap of the previous part. For those of you who want to skip it, as always, the timestamps are down below. Just hit them and you'll be right at the beginning of the first cutscene for today. But for now, on the previous part, well, as usual, we began our story with the introduction of several characters, the overall plot, at least what seems to be the plot, and the theming. And the theming is very easy to describe this time because it's shenanigans. It's goofs and shenanigans. At least for the most part. But anyway, in order, we got introduced to a detachment of Victorian soldiers that are apparently in Kjerag for some reason. As we learn later, they are a private army from a Viscount who has been there together with them for about more than a month at this point. And they seem to be getting along well with the inhabitants of Kjerag. Nothing crazy happening there, even though we do get glimpses of that they do have something in plan, but we don't get told yet what it is. In the meantime, we get introduced to several characters that are returning from Break the Ice, amongst them being Sirius and Yucatan, who are deciding on a name for their future child, as it seems their first one is on the way. Then we see Pramanix, aka Enya, with Arknights, discussing the unveiling ceremony for the gigantic ass statue of Kjeragandr that is on Lake Silberneherze. And after that, we see we see Silverash interact with the very Viscount from Victoria, aka Harold, as they seem to be also getting along pretty well, just discussing matters at hand. And then we see Leto, who is arriving into Kjerag on a train, and immediately after the train reaches its destination, disembarking, looking for the next one, since she has to head to Lake Silberneherze, but she runs into Harold, and they immediately hit it off, as both of them are just lovable goofballs. But anyway, Harold explains to Leto that he is going to the same destination, the same train, and offers to go along with her to show her as well where the train even is. The two of them board the train, and so does a Trilby Asher as well, unbeknownst to them, as it seems that he is there to gather some intelligence. Meanwhile, on top of a mountain, Degenbrecher is training future Chegeti soldiers, but gets called off to some kind of emergency. Meanwhile, back on the train, Leto and Harold are just discussing matters, as she is telling him why she is there. Essentially, the way she is phrasing stuff, it seems at least that her mother has passed away, and she might be there just to fulfill her mother's last will and testament, which is to climb apparently a mountain in Kjerag and toss out some stuff that is in some luggage that she is carrying. Meanwhile, the Trilby Asher has a very tough time to get away from his seating position, as it seems that a child and a duck are enough to, a foul beast are enough to keep him in check, at least for now. But under the pretext of helping the passengers catch those runaway foul beasts, he does get away and he starts to go around the cabins. Meanwhile, Degenbrecher, who has fulfilled whatever crises she ran into, decides to board the very same train, but does so in the most craziest and badass kind of fashion possible by jumping from an extreme height on the top of the train. And she's on board. Meanwhile, the Trilby Asher going around the train goes from cabin to cabin to ask for the foul beast, if anybody's seen it, and in one of the cabins runs into the Viscount and Leto as they're just talking about stuff. The Viscount, obviously, aka Harold, realizing who the Asher is, grabs him very quickly and escorts him out, as the two are exchanging a couple of words about what the hell is happening and what the Asher is doing there. But the two of them part ways, and Harold returns back to Leto. The Asher, meanwhile, goes to the final cabin in the train and finds Degenbrecher inside as he opens the door and sees her there just sitting with bloodied hands, which makes him squeeze his butt cheeks probably so hard that he shat out a diamond. As he closes the door, checks and double checks if the intelligence, or rather his memory about the intelligence he received, was correct, that she should be on a mountain, opens the door again to see if he actually saw her there. She getting more and more pissed at him. He closes the door again, mumbles in front of himself, just outright, not even hiding it anymore, that his intelligence was about her being on some mountain, but it seems to be wrong, as she's on the train, and her gloves are bloody, and that means she offed someone or something, and that's not a good sign. But she opens the door now, and yoinks him in to discuss matters. Meanwhile, Harold is worried about the Trilby Asher and what he might be doing, and excuses himself from Leto and leaves the cabin to go and find him. Meanwhile, Degenbrecher, holding the Trilby Asher at blade point, declares that she is looking for someone on the train, and that very someone is literally listening in on them at this point. And it's Harold. Harold is listening in on them, and he hears that and immediately starts to book it out of there. The Asher is trying to keep her from following after Harold, but he doesn't succeed, and a wild goose chase begins on the train. Harold runs into Leto, who just prior to him running into her, sent out, or rather was talking to someone on a radio, to someone she apparently knows, and Leto decides to run along with Harold and keep on running through the train. And the goose chase continues, as the two of them are running, being pursued by Degenbrecher, being pursued by Trilby Asher. At the end of the run, a lot of misunderstandings happen. Namely, everybody believes something else, but at the end of the day, it turns out that Degenbrecher was not there to either kill him or do anything to Harold. She was there because she needed his help. The burden beast that Harold was nursing, as he is a veterinarian amongst things, has delivered, or rather prematurely delivered, her calf, and Harold should go and take a look at the now young mother. And yeah, that's about it. After that, they all disembark the train, all go their separate ways, Harold to see about the burden beast, but The Trailblasher becomes interested in Leto, who was together with Harold, and he decides to follow her, which prompts Degenbrecher to report that very matter, amongst other things, to Silverash. Leto then proceeds to just go around Lake Silberneherze, check out the surroundings, runs into one point into Sirius, who out of nowhere appeared to give her some pointers and give her some knowledge about the surroundings, the mountain that she is looking for, the statue, and so on and so forth, and Leto then goes her own way after that. And it seems that everybody, or rather a lot of people, seem to be on the whole thing of, hey, let's keep the Trailblasher interested in Leto. Apparently. Leto then later arrives at the statue itself, decides to do a quick little prayer, and exchange some words with a old devotee of Kjeragandr, who teaches her how to properly pray. After a couple of words exchanged between them, the old man seems to recognize who Leto could be, based purely on her appearance, and decides to invite her to come to his place, aka the clan Pale Roach, because he has someone he wants Leto to meet. And that is pretty much where we left off. So, let us continue. One quick bonus note here, I have not picked up Harold from the exchange here, from the thingy. We're gonna do that at the end of today's episode, as a little bonus for the end. But for now, let's head into this thing. So, last time we ended on stage 3, so let's go to stage number 4. And just like last time, I will be splicing the two cutscenes together, and then after that doing the whole spiel of introducing units and stuff like that. But for now, let's begin with stage number 4, titled Back on Track. No one wants the worst outcome. How wonderful it would be if all was well again. Let's begin. Perfect timing, the music just stopped. Woolhouse. Straight flush. You little sack of shite. You've been hiding cards, haven't ya? Why do I need to hide cards to beat you? Just sit yourself down like a good boy. Royal flush. God damn it! How'd you pull that one off? Your sleeve, Jack. How'd you catch that? Jack, you cheating bastard. Hey, if you didn't catch me, that's your problem. You want a problem? I'll shove your goddamn head so far up your arse that... Just shuffle already. Alright, shuffling. I've sure got some rotten luck getting stuck with you, sorry lot for this shift. Doesn't matter who you're on shift with, you're playing cards anyway. And there's only a handful of fellas here who won't try to cheat you. Go on, have a count? At least there hasn't been much to do today. You can say that again. Back when the old man said he'd take us sightseeing, I didn't believe him for 1 second. Now that it's been a month, I'd say I believe him. It's been good eating and good drinking. Certainly has. Feels like my appetite's gone back to when I just enlisted. Ah! What the hell are you screaming out for, Charles? Scared the crap out of me. Bloody hell. I had another nightmare. Dreamt that I got chopped in half by a circus sword and all. Thought it'd be something worse. Day before yesterday, I dreamt that I got blown up by some originium explosives while out scouting. Right, now I'd like to shove some explosives into your gob. Well, hurry up already then. A guy not than a freaking vampire out on the battlefield is going to have a few screws loose when off the war front. Well, what can I do? I can't control if I have a nightmare or not. Just think positive. Last time you said you were being minced. This time you said you were being chopped in two. Maybe it's a good omen or something. Damn it, you're right. Alright, enough moping. Grab a drink and come play some cards. Perfect timing, really. Now that you're up, come and take over my spot for a few rounds. Why? Is something the matter? Not really. There's a few farmers at the bottom of the mountain that need a hand with their work, so I'm gonna go and help out. Farmers? That family that gives us milk all the time, the Turiels. Oh, I remember them. Their daughter's quite pretty. Huh, I see how it is, Lisburn. I'm just helping out, don't read too much into it. The hell are you lot doing? Everyone within 100 meters could hear you yapping away. You sure have some skills turning a barracks into your gambling parlor. Didn't you say you were going to go sightseeing from the start, though? We're just following orders here. I told you, you can go and help out the locals a bit for some goodwill. Let them think we're more than just a bunch of yobs. Have you been yet? Lisburn's going to help out. He's keeping mum, but I can tell that he's thinking of settling down here. Oh? Don't listen to this nutter, boss. I really am just going there to help out. After all, we came here too. Alright, that's enough out of you. Just get going already. Who died and made you chief warrior, huh? If a young lad like yourself really does want to become a family man, I'd say you're still a good egg. Yes, sir. You've sure got a stink about you, boss. Still working on your veterinary medicine out there? Save it. Lily, the Leon's girl, she gave birth prematurely. Didn't get there in time. All I could do was help with some postpartum care. And then I ran into this one very unlucky chap. Unlucky? Another Victorian. A Victorian? The whole month we've been here, I bet I've seen, if not 1,000 Victorian tourists, 800 at least. Alright, I get it. You love taking a stroll down the street. Deal those cards out already. I'll deal. Charles had a nightmare again, boss. Did he? Let me see. It's fine, no use troubling yourself over it. If you lot die, then who's going to fight for me? We're going to fight? Shut your mouth for a second and hold still, alright? Ah! Well, at least it hasn't gotten worse. Does it still hurt as much as last time? It's a whole lot better since we came to Kjerag. I spent a lot of money greasing palms just to get this opportunity. If you lot aren't feeling any healthier, doesn't it seem like I wasted all that dosh for nothing? Besides, it's not like there's anything else to do here except get better. You're right about that, sir. This arm's been no good for a while, but you've already helped me a lot. If I ever lose both my arms, well, at least I can still carry a weapon into battle with my teeth. What use is a soldier with no arms? There's no need to show off. You lads just need to remember that you're here to... Allow me to remind you what's more, my lord. You have a duty you are obligated to carry out. Do not fail her grace. This is not a sightseeing trip. Hey, boss? You finally gone senile? I'm not the same as you simpletons who care nothing for your health. When you've gone senile, I'm still going to be fit as a fiddle. Hey, we might not even get to live that long. Forget it. For the sake of my retirement, this old foggy's willing to go all in. What are you talking about? I don't think a hoity-toity lord like you throwing your money around is going to fit in well with the locals, honestly. But nobody's going to turn down a sumptuous banquet. You go on and play your cards. Sure you're not just looking for an excuse to drop a crappy hand? Let me see. 4 jacks. Not great, not terrible.
Oh, now that hits the spot. Tiara sent it over especially, said it would be given out at the bonfire banquet the night before the ceremony. That, what was it called again? Carland Manor Snow Realm Spring, sir. They've been talking about it on television every day, enough times that I've memorized it. Ugh, it's all just claptrap for the masses. I will say that this drink is exquisite, very robust. I dare say it's the one good thing that Theodos has done. However, it hardly holds a candle to our very own aged pale roach aquavit. Should we keep drinking this stuff, sir? Counting what we got from the brown tails, there's still 3 other drinks to try. Of course we'll keep drinking it. If we don't try for ourselves, then how will we know which is the best? Since the Saintess has bestowed the privilege of organizing the banquet on Clan Pale Roach, this is of course one of my duties. Drink is our top priority. I must pick Kjerag's best spirit for this banquet. I cannot let the Saintess down. Alright, go and get the rest of the booze up here for a taste test. Yes, sir. Guards, with me. Let's carry up those drinks.
General, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Although the Patriarch did say that this is all preparation for the ceremony just now, isn't this way too much booze? The boys are totally worn out.
You're thinking too much. Completing Kjeragandr's statue is more important than any amount of booze. Ask the man to bear with it for a while longer. When everything's settled, I'll treat you all to a fine meal.
Alright then. The Pale Roaches could stand to be a bit more attentive. I didn't think infiltrating them would be this easy. Their former patriarchs already brought Rosalind over. Next I need to check what exactly Clan Pale Roach has up its sleeve. Moreover, all this booze, based off of Arctos' attitude, is it really all for the banquet? Yet another trail to follow.
What's with all the lollygagging? Come over here and help out already.
Yes, sir. But if the Pale Roaches truly are keeping some terrible secret, Rosalind must surely be involved as well. Finding her has become a priority.
We have arrived.
Is this your house? These rooms are pretty big. Are you one of those low-key rich guys? You don't look it.
Hardly. This is merely some family property. Look here, young lady. This house is built right into the mountain. When you begin your climb tomorrow, you can use the shortcut behind it.
Got it. Thanks a lot, Batyusha.
I should apologize to you first.
But why though?
I invited you here out of my own selfish desire. My Kjeragandr, I should not have hidden this from you.
Why are you all serious all of a sudden? I can handle it. Just lay it on me.
Oh, child. There is someone I would like you to meet. He, Master?
There's a real big guy yelling for you over there, Batyusha. He your son?
He's certainly no son of mine. Give me a moment, young lady.
What are you doing back, sir?
Am I not allowed back?
That's not what I mean. It's just,
It's not a great time for you to be here. Great time or not, you're in no place to speak of such things. How is Arctos? Sir Arctos, out with it already? Speak clearly. Yes, sir. Sir Arctos is currently making preparations for the bonfire banquet. Don't just give me the good news. What else? He's personally checking all the drinks for tomorrow. Right now, he's sampling those from the other regions. Rotten boy. He said he would give up drinking last month. And now this. Ridiculous. If he keeps flip-flopping, how is anyone supposed to trust a word out of his mouth? The patriot is doing this for the sake of politics. He is fully dedicated to the Saints. Sounds like excuses to me. Oh, by the way, who's that girl? How rude, Gullo. The young lady is Rosalind, my guest. Welcome, Madam Rosalind. Master, who is Madam Rosalind, really? It might just be me, but she looks a bit like Sir Ark. Shh! I'm not certain of anything yet. Don't ask too many questions just now. Gula, bring the young lady inside first. And then, wherever that oaf Arctos is, take her to him. And don't forget to tell your minions to prepare a room and meal for her. Treat her well, or else. Yes, sir. Sorry to keep you waiting.
No biggie. You guys finished chatting? What was it you were going to tell me before the big guy came over? Someone you wanted me to meet, right?
The man that I wish for you to meet is inside the house. Follow this one inside first. Your meeting with this man will make everything clear.
Alright. What about you, Patricia? Not coming with?
We will meet again soon, child. Very soon. Please come with me, Madam Rosalind.
Alright. Hey, Bratan, your name is Gullo, right?
Very quickly, that word right there just means bro.
What were you chatting with the old man about? Something you can't tell me? Come on, Bratan, say something.
Gullo proceeds to make a X with his fingers.
You really can't say.
He proceeds yet another X, followed by a constant barrage of X's.
Fine, I'll stop bothering you about it. Anyway, as soon as I meet this guy, I'll know, right? I'm also real curious as to why you two keep staring at my face. What? Is it cause I look like someone, or does someone look like me? Nah, can't be. The way the old man talked about the guy he wants me to meet, it's like...
It's not, no.
Alright, calm down. I can't like you couldn't lie your way out of a fin ball. Well, I'm not lying. You guys were stealing some real strange glances earlier. If you're up to some funny business, it's gonna come down to my fists. Aren't we going inside? Come on already!
Madam Rosalind! Sir Arctos, Master has brought us a guest. Sir? This is a fine drink, incredibly fine. Come finish this glass with me.
This is the guy the old man wanted me to meet? Bearded drunk.
Huh? What's this girl babbling about? I'm Arctos, patriarch of the Pale Roach clan. How could I possibly get drunk on a sip of wine?
Huh. All the drunks say stuff like that. And here I thought, nah, couldn't be. My papa would definitely be way cooler.
Your father's guest. So I won't argue with you. Still, come a bit closer, girl. Let me have a proper look.
What the hell are you trying to pull?
I feel like your face is sort of familiar. You're...
The old man steps inside, disturbing a thick layer of dust. The door barely hangs on its hinges, and the floor creaks with every step. Under his orders, the room has not welcomed a single guest in a very, very long time. With no residents and no custodians, this forgotten room has fallen apart with age.
Where did I put it? I think it was... Ah, good. Here it is.
The old man fiddles with the latch of a cabinet in the corner, removing something from within. It's a plain, unadorned rock, every edge painstakingly polished smooth until it was perfectly round. Upon the rock is carved a blessing of Kjeragandr. The old man grasps the rock in the palm of his hand.
Thank goodness. I kept it, even as I never expected this day to come. Rosalind has grown up well, Tatiana.
The old man remembers. That day was also a winter's day. It was through this very window that he had watched that sad, silent parting. He had seen that young, foreign, faultless woman, with her anger and disappointment that could light snow aflame, leave. He had seen that young, confused child carried in her mother's arms, unable to understand the reason behind her mother's furious face. He had watched them for what felt like centuries. Watched them until their backs faded into the bitter white winds.
So many years, and with so much time passed. I had planned to give this to Rosalind, but I never expected. Arctos did not want to see you two bear the blame, and so I locked this room and told him that he must not speak in your stead. And then it was I, for the sake of Clan Paleroach, who exiled you and yours. If there is anyone to blame, Tatiana, then blame me. Now, the Paleroach clan is in Arctos' hands. Kjerag too is not as she once was. I pledged to live the rest of my days as a simple devotee, so that as long as I lived, I would keep the road ahead clear for Kjeragandr. If only it had been like this. I must truly be getting old now, daydreaming like that. Bye, Kjeragandr. Bye, Kjeragandr.
Sir, it's me.
Come in. What is it?
Viscount Harold tasked me with delivering this letter to you.
The Viscount.
It seems like he really was quite aware of you shadowing him to his barracks on my orders. The blame is mine for getting found out. Will this affect anything, sir?
It will not. You may continue. How did he find you?
Yes, sir. That afternoon, it is currently 5 in the afternoon, now recording today's situation. Things today are not much different from past recordings. The infected barracks' soldiers regularly perform drills in the mountains nearby. Well, I say drills, but it's mostly them trying to stay off of boredom. The uninfected soldiers, on the other hand, have more freedom of movement. Thanks to this, they get up to all sorts of things. It's a bit of a pain to... scratch that. Based on previous investigations, most of them simply drink and get rowdy at the taverns at the foot of the mountain. There are still 4 people keeping watch at the camp. 3 are playing cards, while 1 is sleeping. After the one who was sleeping woke up, one of the other 3 left. He seemed to be quite happy as he was walking away. If it's to visit the Turiels, I'd say he's taking a fancy to their daughter. These Victorians have been here for nearly a month. Even though I volunteered myself to scout in the first place, the more I watch them, the more I wonder if there is even any point in monitoring them. They really do look like they're just here for sightseeing. Ah, right. It looked like Viscount Harold had returned to camp and started playing cards with the soldiers, but he is now nowhere to be seen.
You know, a kind-hearted old man like me would call it a pity that you're out here alone on a mountain, Mr. Weiss. Which is why I brought along a drink for you.
Huh?
No need to worry, old chap. Watching us every day must be a right chore. I get it, though. After all, there's a bunch of foreign troops stationed here. I'd be worried too. And so your Silenciotas can't help but have a little disdain for us Victorians. Go on, take a sip already. It'll warm you up.
Sorry, I'm not great with alcohol.
Is that so? What a pity. I didn't have much taste for booze either when I was younger. Felt like I could do just about anything sober. But now I finally understand why drink enchants people so.
Please, tell me, Lord Viscount, what exactly will you do, now that you've found me?
I was simply hoping you could assist me in a small matter, Mr. Weiss. Be a sport and pass this letter along to Enciotis, if you would.
Alright, I'll do that.
Not going to ask why?
You've already found me out. I couldn't quite hide myself from your keen eyes. And pointing it out to me so bluntly speaks volumes about your attitude on the matter. I'll inform my master about that alongside this letter. Forgive me, sir. If only I had trained my scouting a bit more.
There is naught to forgive. No matter what they say, in the end they are still Victorian soldiers. There is an objective gap between our capabilities and theirs. It is enough that you perform your work at your own pace.
Understood.
Moreover, it is, as you said, that he wished to use you to convey this to me, is telling about his attitude. You have observed their barracks for nearly a month now. Tell me what you think of them, Weiss.
Yes, sir. Before the Victorian army ever set foot inside Tericum, we had already prepared extensively, just in case. But we never actually used any of our contingencies. They rushed in as if tomorrow they would occupy all of Kjerag. But as we braced for impact, we ended up in this situation. They mostly stay at the foot of the mountain, with minimal activity. That Viscount, he deliberately set up camp far from any major towns or cities, so as to minimize disturbances to the locals. Their barracks are split up into camps for the infected and uninfected. They've even put up a notice to inform visitors. According to some intelligence I dug up, he has even ordered his men to help the locals with their daily tasks. How should I put this? He truly respects his men, and he also respects us Kjerags. And so I think he's worthy of our respect too. Otherwise you wouldn't have asked Matterhorn to pass the medicine and supplies.
Weiss stops speaking, his report complete, but Ensiodas does not respond. The rhythmic sound of Ensiodas' index finger slowly tapping at the armrest of his chair clearly echoes throughout the room, like water slowly but firmly dripping from the eaves. This letter, what do you make of it?
Ultimately, they have infringed on our borders in the name of Victoria, and now they have used me as the means to pass you this letter. I believe this was intended as both a rap across the knuckles and a warning. Could it be that after all this, they can't actually contain themselves?
You've always been fond of taking the negative tack, Weiss.
Apologies, sir.
No, this is one of your strengths. You are correct. He deliberately sought you out, so as to reveal his strength. But at the same time, it is unlikely he would not know that you are my attendant. A man of his position could approach me directly and to inform me of the contents of this letter. But he used you to pass it to me instead. Do you feel like that is etiquette befitting a noble?
And it's a very humble gesture. He is a strange man.
He represents the will of a Victorian duke, but that does not mean that every chess piece is a willing puppet.
Sir, what exactly is in the letter regarding...
Ensiodas does not reply, merely placing the piece of paper within the envelope atop the table and sliding it towards Weiss.
It's an invitation?
An invitation for me, alongside our Saintess, to take part in a dinner party he's arranged.
You and Lady Enya? Surely he doesn't... No, it couldn't be. If he really did sense something amiss, he wouldn't go about it in such a friendly manner.
Find Matahon, and ask him to take one of the finest bottles from our distillery storehouse. On second thought, Weiss.
Sir?
No need to go to the distillery. Come with me to the Silver Ash wine cellar. I will fetch the drink personally.
You mean the Old Manor cellar? There may be wine there, but...
You need only do as I ask. He has already revealed his sincerity to us, and so it is my turn to do the same. What in Kjeragandr's name is going on?
I'm telling you, the horses can drink way more than this any day. Come and visit sometime. It'll be my treat.
Very well. It's a deal. Drink! Come! Drink more! No, that's some fine wine.
No. It's not wine, it's honey. Man, Kjerag's own local Highland honey. This flavor sure is something else. It's your lucky day, because I brought a few bottles of my own on the train.
Honey! How very sobering! This flavor is great, stupendous! I, Arknights, do decree it so! Come, down it! Girl, you turn all wrinkly.
Buddy, you've got the wrong guy over here.
Let go, you useless son of mine! Let go, I say! Hey, kid, how come you're so strong all of a suddenly? Don't tell me you don't like my drinks. Well, that's no good. Right here, I'll go and get the best of spirits. Just you wait.
Hey, buddy. I already told you, you got the wrong guy.
You two, Gulo! I'm here, master. What is the meaning of this? Sir had to drink a bit too much, and once he saw Madame Rosalind, he invited her to drink with him. I wasn't able to stop them.
Arktos, you besotted oaf! When he looked at Rosalind, did he really not come to any realizations?
Not exactly.
Well, what then? Spit it out already!
When he saw Rosalind, Sir said that she looked a bit familiar. But I think he might have been too drunk. We waited here a good while, and he didn't say another word about it. Not a peep.
And then?
And then Madame Rosalind thought of something to lighten the mood. She got out some honey drinks she brought with her and gave some to Sir to try. And then, well, here we are.
How did Arktos get this far without learning how to handle honey drunkenness?
It's his nature, I'm afraid. I don't think he could handle it even if he tried. To be honest, he might have inherited it from you, Master. What should we do now?
What should we do? You're asking me what we should do? Wait until Arktos has sobered up. Once he has a clearer head, even he cannot deny the things the two of us have noticed. When I see Rosalind, I see Arktos when he was her age.
I remember. He didn't have his beard back then.
He was just afraid of not looking reliable enough. It's a ploy. If he had already been reliable back then, it would never have come to this.
Matyusha, you're finally here. Who wasn't reliable? What back then? What are you guys talking about?
Nothing. Just some reminiscing.
Another secret you're keeping? Alright then, keep your secrets. Here, Matyusha, this is for you. I saved you one last bottle of honey. Let's drink.
Very well.
Doesn't sound like there'll be any trouble from them. Sure looks like a family reunion or something to me. No, I can't rule out the possibility of them exchanging information via code words. I still need to watch them carefully.
You, why are you loafing around over there?
Ah, Master. A new delivery of drinks has just arrived and I need men to help me bring it all in.
You may go, young fellow.
Yes, Master. I'll go on ahead first then.
Yes, just go already. I'll make sure these two don't get up to further trouble. I brought more drink!
Wait, this much? Did you empty the entire cellar or something, my man?
The people of Kjerag are never stingy when treating their guests. After gifting me your honey, it's only natural that I share something of mine. I wouldn't want a girl like you thinking I wasn't generous. Try this one on for size. Since you have such fine taste, I've grabbed the rarest drink in my collection. I wouldn't even bring it out for the banquet tomorrow.
Snow Realm Spring. The year is on the label too. Oh, this looks familiar. I think I've seen this brand in the doctor's office. Whatever, time to drink up. This stuff is great. It's got a tingle, but it sure goes down easy. Refreshing, yet not pungent. Yep, very fine.
You sound just like one of those fancy sommeliers. At the time, it was awful hard to get this drink. I had to grease a few palms and hide them behind my father's back to get my hands on this batch.
Why do you want to keep it a secret? What, did your dad not let you drink or something?
No, nothing of the sort. Us men of Kjerag have been drinking since we were in diapers, unlike those Victorians who fall over after a single drop. But this, back then, it was considered taboo, especially for us pale roaches. But those times are long gone. Things have changed.
I want to just quickly interrupt, and I want to point out that the bottle says 96%. That is some potent shit. Anyway.
What use is talking about it now? Come, have a sip. This bottle might be even better than the last. If it wasn't for the fact that we were such kindred spirits, I wouldn't give it to you, even if you beat me to death over it. Gotta sample it nice and slow. Real slow.
Look, you got it wrong again, boss. I'm over here, and there's a pillar. Let me give it a... Hey, why is this sour?
Sour? How dare you? This really is sour, but why? It aged well at first, but you have to take into account how it was stored. Our storage methods back then were not as sophisticated as today. And after so long, there would always be a batch or two that went bad. Went bad? I'd planned to give this out at the wedding reception and ask that everyone drink their fill. I thought I might share a glass of this with her. You're drunk, Arknights. That's enough for now. I'm not drunk. I'm not.
Come on, give me that bottle.
The girl takes the slightly sour aged spirit from Arknights' hand. She turns up her head and without the slightest bit of hesitation raises the bottle and pours the liquid straight down her throat, taking in its varied astringent notes.
And that's that problem solved. It was a little off, but overall still a pretty good drink. If you want my expert opinion, I'd say you could really grow to love that aftertaste.
Young lady, you... have you gone mad? Quick, somebody call a doctor!
Nah, I'm good.
You're good. It long since got bad. You still drank it. Haven't you ever heard of food poisoning?
I'm fine, really. I've eaten rotten bread and drank foul water out of the gutter before.
Sorry for pausing there. PTSD.
Compared to that, what's this drink gotta do to me?
Huh? Oh, the gutter? Why would you even do such things, girl?
I'd rather not talk about those times right now. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, I might not really get what the whole deal here is, but I can feel it out. You said this drink was pretty important, right, boss? I'll take that as a yes. Something as rare as that getting spilled away just because it's gone a little off sure would be sad, don't you think?
Listen.
Oh, come on, don't give me that face. It could work for you if you were more handsome, but you'd have to lose the beer first. Hey, why aren't we drinking? Whatever boozy treasures are left, stir them up. Today, the three of us, we're drinking until we drop.
You're sure? I'm sure. This might be an issue. You know, lad, you usually come full of ideas, but you're a right mute here. Can't blame me for that one, boss. But a lord like you suddenly wants to throw a banquet just freeing up the space for it took our man no small amount of effort. It's simply for hosting 2 foreign dignitaries, although it's still a bit off for that purpose. I understand. We've invited a chef from a local restaurant to come and cook, and thanks to us and the locals being so buddy-buddy, we've also managed to get some top quality ingredients to go with. We're still stumped on drinks though. These 3 bottles of Snow Realm Spring 1095 were the best we could get from hereabouts. This one. Mouthfeel is pleasant enough, and the aroma is suitably complex. However, the layerings are a little bit weak, and this acridity is somewhat unbalanced. It would be fine to offer to someone the same rank as me, but for our guests at this banquet, it's far from appropriate. It's only at times like these that your nobility shows, me lord. Well, I do have to work rather hard at it. Enough already. We all know you're just a boozer who gave yourself the excuse that you're handling the lords and ladies. Alright, enough flip out of you. Go back and help out or something. I'll think over everything else that's left. Boss, we've been here a whole month, and we've seen that the Kjerags, they really love their saintess, and this Enciodas guy too. I know you keep saying we're just here as tourists. What is it you think I'm up to? If I really want to do something, I would tell you to get that ambush sorted before all this. That's what you said, sure, but don't expect the boys to come and save your hide if something comes up. Oh, don't be such a worrywart. It's bad luck. If I had known sooner, I would have asked the missus to pack that rare red wine we've got in the house. Oh. Why ever are you sighing, my lord? Ah, Sir Enciodas. Well, you've caught me in something of a pickle. I'm the one organizing this banquet, but I can't quite find a drink fit for 2 illustrious guests such as you. While worrying over that, I recalled a fine vintage in my collection back home, and it gave me a twinge of homesickness. I'm afraid I don't know where exactly you are a Viscount of. County Barry. If I recall correctly, County Barry is not far from Toron. Indeed, they tend to follow the same trails, have done so for quite a while now. If that is the case, then you and I were fated to meet, Lord Viscount. I lived in Toron for a time. That's right, I feel like we might have met at some banquet or the other, back in the day. If only we had recalled this forgotten connection of ours sooner, Sir Enciodas, we wouldn't have had to be at each other's throats. Indeed. If I had known that you were such an interesting man, I think we would have made fast friends, my lord. I have met with many a noble here in Kjerag, but I believe that you might be the first to get homesick at the thought of some wine. Would it be remiss for me to assume that my lord is a family man? If my daughter heard those words, she would most likely die from laughter. In her eyes, I'm the most worthless father across all the lands. Relations always have a different view of things to outsiders. You're right. Every family has its own issues. I'm afraid that I have no solution to your longing for County Barry, but I do have the means to make you feel at home here. Oh? My lord, please accept this as a token of my master's regard. This is Snow Realm Spring 1072? I have heard that, other than the Snow Realm Spring batch that started distilling in the 90s, there were even rarer bottles from a batch from the 70s. You're saying this is the real deal? Kjerag's first distillery was established under my father's auspice, but after his passing in an unfortunate accident, its output, too, essentially stopped. I revived it after the founding of Karlan Trade. Thanks to our outdated aging techniques, most of the stuff from the 70s is completely undrinkable these days, but a few bottles from the era still survive. They were labeled as 1070s, and what few existed were kept in the Silver Ash clan's cellars.
What you see before you is from that collection. Well, just from that hint of fragrance coming from the mouth of that bottle, I can already tell that it'll drive Victoria's greatest sommeliers wild. This is a mighty fine drink. If I drank any of this, forget about feeling at home, I'd want to stay in Kjerag for another 3 years. If that is ever your desire, then of course we will welcome you with open arms. Not scared of a Victorian soldier, Sirenciotis? If ever Victorian soldier is as reasonable a man as you, what have I to fear? I'm afraid you might have some misunderstandings about me, good sir. Then it is natural for me to wish to clear up those misunderstandings. Come, let us sit and discuss then. Well, the Saintess hasn't arrived yet, so should we really be sitting? The great Saintess is quite occupied with various affairs at the moment. There is no need to trouble her over this.
It is as he says. Were I not here, there would be nothing wrong with the two of you sitting down to a chat. It would have to clear my approval in the end anyhow. Is that not right, Sirenciotis?
Great Saintess, I am honored that you have deigned to grace this banquet with your presence.
It has been quite some time since you first set foot in Kjerag, Lord Viscount. In that time, I have heard of the goodwill that you have shown Kjerag, and I had plans myself to reach out to you for our own little chat. Today is a good opportunity as any other.
It has been a while, Saintess.
Sirenciotis, you still have not answered my question.
The Saintess is correct. It's just that you are the spiritual leader of all Kjerag's people, after all. Every day you must hear the hopes and prayers of supplicants, and keep their faith in Kjeragandr in their hearts. Nowadays, all the nations of Terra have heard tell of her, and one by one they set their eyes on her. This too is yet another matter that occupies your attention. There is no need for you to personally attend to the mundane matters of the nation.
You tell a good joke, Sirenciotis. The reason why Kjeragandr attracts more and more attention from the outside world is in fact because we take note of our people's hopes and prayers, and that we work toward a better life for all of them. And that being the case, it means that there is no such thing as a mundane matter of the nation. It need only be a matter of concern to the people to be a matter of concern to me. I am sure that you would understand this simple reasoning of mine, right, Sirenciotis?
I understand this point. As a good friend of mine once counseled me, whether in family matters or matters of state, if you try to grasp everything at play, it will oftentimes not go as you planned.
And as a good friend once counseled me, whether in family matters or matters of state, even if you cannot attend to everything personally, you must see things through your own eyes and do things with your own hands at least once. Do you hold family matters in your heart, Sirenciotis, or matters of state?
What is it that you wish to see, great Saintess? What is it that you wish to do? Great Saintess, just before you arrived, Sirenciotis gifted me a bottle of liquor.
Oh?
Snow Realm Spring 1072. A drink so fine, its only flaw is that it will upstage the main dish. It is my gift to you. Are you afraid it might steal your thunder as our host? Hardly, hardly. While I am the host, I can't really call myself the lord of this place, can I? I would say that the Saintess herself would be considered the star of the evening. It seems I have overstepped my bounds. If I may, Saintess, I have a proposal.
Go ahead.
I think we should use this bottle of 1072 as the drink for tonight's meal. What do you think?
What say you, Sirenciotis?
In 1072, when our father placed these bottles into our cellar, he believed that Kjerag's spring was just around the corner. But even after waiting for more than 20 years, our spring has still not yet truly arrived. Now, if this bottle were a signal for the opportunity before us, that would truly be a wonderful thing.
Eloquent as ever, Silenciotus. Now that matter settled, Kjar. Yes, Saintess. Take this bottle to the kitchen, if you would. At once, Saintess. Is that to your satisfaction, my lord?
Well, since our two guests of honor have arrived, let's get this banquet started. Please, have a seat.
Well then, the gummy bears are filled with vodka now, or rather with 96% spirit. That will end well. And also, brother and sister are meeting. That will be an interesting scene. But before we move on to our next part, we have two new enemies to introduce here. One being this dude, Delegation Caster. First off, what the hell is that casting stick there, and it looks amazing. Second off, the mustache on the helm is also amazing. Anyway, it says elite arts attackers of the delegation, casting with perfect coordination, but still asked to take it easy. Our second new unit here is Catapult. Catapult. That's a catapult? Anyway, expert grenadiers of the delegation, able to throw shells as heavy as 100 kilos. If you ask me, those guys could or should go and play Helldivers. Anyway, the rest of the delegation knows better than to challenge them to a snowball fight. I agree, I would not challenge these assholes to a snowball fight. I don't want to be buried by an avalanche. Anyway, moving on to our next scene, which is the cutscene scene only stage. That's a mouthful. Titled Mountain Railway. Facing the problem directly means dealing with surprises that pop up, like the steep and winding uphill slope. I'm back! Lisburn, what are you standing around for?
Nothing.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Oh, Turiel's daughter was cooking in the back kitchen, so you wanted some excuse to slip on over? Look at you acting like you're doing us a great service.
She used to work as a chef in a nearby restaurant, so it makes plenty of sense to bring her on board.
Whatever. More importantly, why is the food not ready yet? Hey, boss, how come the food hasn't been served yet?
Sorry about that. The main reason is that we're a bit overloaded right now. Even though we've upped the kitchen staff, it's still not enough to handle the workload. In that case, I don't mind lending a hand.
There is no need.
Who are you?
I am the chief mate of the Saintess, Kjar. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Huh, we're just a bunch of lovely soldiers. No need for the formalities.
Leah. Yes, madam. Split the accompanying servants into teams and have them take turns helping in the kitchen. Make sure the banquet proceeds smoothly. Understood.
But we couldn't possibly have you.
There is no need to worry, sir. Though this banquet is hosted by the Lord Viscount, this land is still Kjerag, and you are all esteemed guests in the eyes of the Saintess. As the Lord Viscount was gracious enough to extend invitation to the Saintess, it is only natural that we servants lend our assistance as well. Additionally, pardon me if this may sound offensive, but it would be out of place for those hands wielding weapons to carry plates.
Calm down, Lisburn. The maid's right. We'd probably end up breaking a whole bunch of crockery if we tried to help.
I know. But if there's any physical labor that needs doing, you just give us a holler, alright?
Oh, come to think of it, the kitchen could use some extra hands to help them carry some groceries. I'm not sure if...
I'm on my way.
Thanks, madam.
My pleasure. Now that things are settled here, I won't further disturb your enjoyment of the banquet. I'm back. Leah, I have one more favor to ask of you. Can you see if the kitchen has these items? If you do, I'd like them to make one additional dish. I'd like a fruit and cheese wrap. Pulling out the old home cooking. But the Saintess normally doesn't touch that stuff. Now, just listen to me. Kjeragandr's employees seem to be arriving one after another. That's right, the Viscount invited not only the Saintess and Master Anciotus, but also the elders of the Vinebear Court as well as the employees of Kjeragandr. As extravagant as one would expect of a Victorian Viscount. The man's not all show either. He even invited Turiels, head chief of the Burden Peak Hotel. His foul temper isn't something that can be bought with money. It goes to show how they've gotten on with our people during the month they've been in Kjerag.
The sickly soldier chugging away. And so is one of the Kjeragandr employees. He burps, and the employee is down for the count.
Not bad, not bad. You mountain folks sure know how to hold your booze. But you still can't outdrink me. Who's up next?
Those men can get sloshed even in a place like this. Not to mention quite a few have already ended up under the table. Kjar, what should we do? Well, getting on well is certainly a wonderful thing, but getting on too well can be problematic. This sort of thing, however, ends up being a headache for certain other people. Gnosis, the Chigati, are in position. I have them patrolling in front and the rear entrances to prevent anyone from sneaking inside the venue.
No need to be so nervous. Valais, send one team to go and help in the kitchen.
Understood.
Care for a drink? If you dare, that is. This is some crazy strong stuff. Are we seriously doing this? As I said, up to you. You got me! You've got guts. I'll give you that. Cheers! Pour me another glass. On it! You're... not bad. Do we have a hangover remedy?
Leah. Right here.
Good. Huh? Director? Enjoy your nap? Yes. That one soldier with a stomach of iron, you managed to drink him under the table? Yep. That's crazy. I have the alcohol for the rest of the day. Go rest. Thank you very much.
Color me surprised. I didn't expect Kjeragandr's CTO to be such a good drinker. I can hardly tell from your face that you just downed 2 bottles of strong liquor.
Just some useless tricks I picked up when I was younger.
Did you frequently attend such occasions in your youth?
Don't worry about it. The banquet will start soon, and I'll have Kjeragandr's employees help more things along.
You're not going to join in the conversation, Master Gnosis?
Not at the moment. It's their time now. You two,
Why are you so taciturn today, Sir Anciotus? Is there something on your mind, or has coming to the banquet soured your mood? Your usual quips and retorts are nowhere to be heard today.
I appreciate the Saintess's concern. But it's simply that sitting at the same table as the Saintess is a terrifying affair, and I can only hold my tongue in her presence.
I see. I did not think Silenciotis the pious type, but I stand corrected.
I dare not speak out of line.
Oh, there are things in this world that even Silenciotis dares not do.
And now, very quickly before we continue with Harold's lines here in a second, if anybody ever wondered, like I did at one point, is that bird always there with him, with Silver Ash? That is part of his regular art and most art of his. And yes, the answer is yes. It is right there, on his shoulder, sitting, looking sharp as ever, ready to pack a fool. Anyway.
Look how nice the weather is today. Perfect day to be holding a banquet, wouldn't you say? Why don't you two go, Given these Saintesses high praise, there are naturally many things I'm afraid of. I won't prattle on with the details, but take the ceremony for Kjeragandr's statue the day after tomorrow. For such an important occasion, all of Carl and Trade must come together as one, without a single misstep.
That being the case, I would recommend you be thorough and circumspect as well, Silenciotis. The completion of Kjeragandr's statue is of utmost importance to Kjerag, not to mention we are in the presence of our Victorian guests who are eager to congratulate us. There is no such thing as too much caution.
It is as you say. The Saintess is well versed in all things divine, and the multitude of preparations made for the ceremony are impeccable and well thought out. In all respects, a true blessing upon Kjerag. As for all other affairs, please rest assured that Carl and Trade will take care of the Winebear Court's concerns.
Now then, it's certainly reassuring to see the two of you so young and promising. As a reminder, we're not only here to celebrate, but also to discuss a collaboration.
Seeing as how you're eloquent as ever, you seem to have no shortage of confidence. You've been quite busy making a name for yourself, Silenciotis. Though I rarely go down the mountain, news of Carl and Trade's exploits are regularly reaching my ears. But please, do not forget this, Silenciotis. For thousands of years, Kjerag has relied on hard work and pragmatism from generation to generation to develop our homeland into what it is today, not utilitarianism and reckless adventurism.
The Silberneherze will never forget Kjeragandr's admonition of her people. However, the Saintess must also understand that along with the people of Kjerag's hard work and pragmatism is an indomitable adventuring spirit and a desire to ascend to the higher summits. Perhaps a little bit of this spirit is also what we need when it comes to dealing with external developments.
I only hope that your enthusiasm does not lead you headfirst into danger.
The young truly are so full of energy, but the Saintess is correct. Sometimes stability is in fact necessary. I invited the two of you here because I wanted to...
I am truly touched by the Saintess's concern. Please rest assured that I will handle this matter and not betray our expectations. All things in Kjerag must inevitably answer to Kjeragandr's will. Without sufficient faith, is it not true that I would struggle to take even a single step?
You're just as awful as you ever were, Bakani-sama.
Ditto.
You two, if you have a disagreement, talk it through like adults. Don't go and ruin the peace. Let's move on and discuss our cooperation.
Silenciotis, your brain is as hard and stubborn as the purest originium ice crystal.
The Saintess remains unmoving and speaks bluntly for the first time in a long while.
I can't hold a candle to you in that regard. But it seems that even after all these years, our great Silenciotis still has not learned to retain his capital.
To what does the Great Saintess refer?
Have your old habits not flared up again, taking on every bit of risk with no regard for the consequences?
The greater the risk, the greater the reward.
I hope you won't regret your choices later on down the road. Nobody's going to sneak money under your pillow today.
Indeed, that won't be happening again. No longer will I be woken by the jingling of coins or have to buy candies and snacks on margin and pay back thrice the amount.
I never asked you to pay me back!
Please, you two.
Just one
Just
moment,
one moment,
please, your
please,
lordship.
your lordship.
Fine, I suppose I'll drink to myself now, for now.
Holy Saints, Silenciotis, I have no intention of involving myself in your private affairs. But if the Saintess has her own thoughts about Kjerag's present situation, then reciprocate the Duke's offer may be the perfect option for you.
What do you mean?
Holy Saintess, might I tell you what I found most impressive about Kjerag?
Please do.
I recall the time I paid a medical call to a herdsman. Lunas was his name. A young beast in his herd had gotten lost while grazing. I offered to help him search for it, but he declined and told me not to worry. He had me wait until sundown and left to have supper. And so I waited. After finishing the treatment, I set up a cooking pot over the grass with him. We lit the pot and he found a good piece of cheese. You should have heard the sizzling sound it made when he threw it in. I was sitting to the side on a short bench, still thinking about the young beast, when I heard a high-pitched cry in the distance. This might be something you see all the time in Kjerag, but for me, when I saw that young beast returning to the pasture at sunset, the way it found its way back to its mother's side, the two nuzzling against each other, what I felt at that moment was something I don't know how to describe. All Nonas told me that burden beasts recognize the scent of their kin, especially fowls, which are particularly sensitive to their mother's scent. Even if they get lost, they'll always find their way back by following their mother's scent. That blood bond reminds me of the way the people of Kjerag view their land. It reminds me of the way Silenciotis gave up Victoria in all her glory to return to Kjerag.
I see your lordship speaks very highly of Silenciotis. It is true that he has made many achievements thus far. But if you are comparing him to a young burden beast returning to his homeland thanks to his ties with his mother by the name of Kjerag, I find that joke quite droll.
It is indeed thanks to Silenciotis' longing for his homeland that House Caster decided to fund Carlin trade. Moreover, the Duke believed that Silenciotis greatly treasured the Kjerag blood flowing in his veins. He likewise would not come to despise the other half of his blood, the Caster bloodline. Holy Saintess, as I have previously stated, I am not here to stoke conflict. But at the inception of Carlin trade, it was Caster who extended a helping hand to Silenciotis. And now that Silenciotis has proven his worth, the Duke believes that it is time to collect a bit of interest.
It appears that a few pieces of candy will no longer be sufficient, Silenciotis.
It's not so complicated really. What the Duke wants is simply a show of sincerity. Her Grace wishes to see this goodwill from Silenciotis, from Carlin trade, and ultimately from Kjerag itself. A show of sincerity towards the Duke of Caster and towards Victoria. So long as this sincerity exists, then our future cooperation will only become more intimate.
And if we fail to express such sincerity?
Harold puts down his tableware, then walks over to the window and opens it up. The cold wind laced with the snow and ice instantly pours into the room. Even the burning stove is helpless to resist the chill. He quickly closes the window once more. My apologies. The Saintess's question was so incisive, I found myself wanting a breath of fresh air. After staying in this warm room for so long, I had forgotten how cold it was outside, you see.
That being the case, your lordship could have simply entertained Silenciotis at this banquet. Why is my presence necessary?
Well, you see, I've been eating and drinking remarkably well here. During my morning constitutional, my blood pressure had gone down, even as my blood sugar was up a tad. I wouldn't mind staying here for another year or so. But you see, I find the Duke's incessant nagging quite bothersome. Nowadays, Kjeragandr has become a pillar of Kjerag, and the kinship between the great Saintess and Sirenciodas runs deep. I simply wanted to provide an opportunity for the two of you to sit down and talk things out over. I would like you to help me convince Sirenciodas.
I appreciate your lordship's candor. However, everything that has a beginning must also have an end. It is true that Kjerag owes much of its current standing to Kjeragandr, but if I, as the Saintess, were to say that I know nothing of this, it would simply be avoiding responsibility. If you accept that I am the leader of this nation, then it must follow that I am also responsible for its current condition. I cannot come up here and confidentially proclaim that the ways of the past were wrong. Sirenciodas always boasts about how he was the one who chose Kjerag's current path. However, to this day, everything in Kjerag is the result of decisions that have been collectively made as a people, of which I am but one member. Sirenciodas himself has no right to rebuke Kjerag, and she as she is today. And the same is true for me.
I see. It seems I really ought to try more of Kjerag's food while I still have the appetite. Please, come with me, both of you. Once again, I must thank you for your hospitality today, my lord. I hope my choice of dishes will suit both your tastes. They are traditional Kjerag dishes that I specially requested Chef Turiel's prepare. Huh, these cheese wraps look positively splendid!
Cheese wraps? And there are even fruit chunks inside.
Truly a traditional household dish. Dig in, my friends, don't be shy.
After you, Sirenciodas.
Very well, if you insist. That smell again.
You still remember it?
Of course. Noses should be here. Where is he?
Sir, there weren't these Victorian soldiers earlier.
Soldiers? It all makes sense now. It would be unbefitting of the Saintess to personally appear before Victorian soldiers, no?
Do as you will. Don't worry about me.
Now then, I shall not take up any more of your time, Holy Saintess.
It really is that same smell.
At least the bit of silver lining is the Trilby Asher can't accuse me of doing nothing. I've done what needed doing, and the ceremony is about to begin. I suppose it's time to head back. Alright, can't forget to pick up souvenirs for the wife and daughter. And also... Alas, it would be remiss of me to leave any regrets behind on this trip. Ah, there you are, Madame Degenbrecher. I see you found yourself a lovely spot, clean and... Hey, now, don't go!
If you want an audience, go talk to Enciodas, or Gnosis. I'll have nothing to do with your little games.
Now, that's no way to be talking. With all this delicious food and drink in front of you, would it really kill you to exchange a few pleasantries? For example, shall we toast?
Nein, danke.
Oh, are you a woman who can't handle her drink?
I'm much better at handling men who try to play me with drink. Shall I prove it to you?
No need. I'll take your word for it. Oh, right. Lila's in fine shape now, thanks to your timely handling of the matter. I've already arranged for follow-up care, and her little ones are in good health as well. Lones said to leave one for you to name. I'm glad things worked out. And I'll pass on that last part. Don't have much of a naming sense. Ah, in that case, why not let me do it for you? Never fear, naming is a bit of a science in Victoria, and I happen to have a bit of an expertise in the field. The little one is a girl, so my suggestion would be to name her Olivia Thornbottom Michelle Craig-Gavin. I put together my last name, my wife's maiden name, and my grandmother's first name, making her the same as my daughter's. I've changed my mind. Her name is Dollar. But I wasn't finished yet. Madame Degenbrecher. Her name is Dollar. But Olivia... Dollar. Alright. Alright. Dollar. Is also a fine name for a girl. Healthy and strong, right? Even though I still think Olivia Thornbottom Michelle Craig-Gavin has a bit more charm to it. Nevertheless, I think Lones will be quite fond of the name, fitting as it is for a Kjerag girl. Madame Degenbrecher, I also have another favor to ask of you. Presumptuous as it is, maybe, please take a look at this. I'm afraid I'll be leaving empty-handed on this business trip. I would at least like to leave a little memento for myself as a personal note. As I said back at the station, I'm a huge fan of yours, see? Would you be willing to give me your autograph? You don't seem like the type to obsess over night sports. You think too highly of me, vulgar man that I am. Far be it from me to avoid vulgar pleasures. Though the arena is certainly different from the battlefield, the victories all have something that elevates them above the crowd. It certainly is a fine pastime, and I hope you take no offense to me saying that, as none is intended. That much is true. You say that, but you still refuse to give this poor man your autograph, even as he's holding this card out. I've treasured this trading card for a long time, you know. It was a limited release for the first time you won the major. You never released another card. It's a darn shame that I can't seem to win your favor no matter what. That aside, when it comes to naming, there is something I've been curious about, and would appreciate if you could shed some light on the matter. Of course, you don't have to answer if you find it offensive. Degenbrecher, is that your real name? You're certainly brave to ask, Craig-Gavin. I'm a man of few talents, but courage is something I do carry. What if it is? Just consider it scratching the itchy curiosity of your fans, madam. After all, every angle of your being has been under the spotlight since the first time you won the major, the origins of the Black Knight, and where her path ultimately led her. Countless eyes have been following you. Which brings me to my next question, Madame Degenbrecher. Is your contract with Caroline Trade about to expire? I do wonder if you'd spare me the honor of inviting you to be a guest of Victoria. No doubt, the Duke would be more than glad to welcome your arrival, and perhaps we'd even be able to discuss new horizons of cooperation. Uh-huh. Is that all you wanted to ask? If that's all you're here for, I've heard you out. Now, if you'd leave me in peace, I've spent a decade in Kjerag. I'm one of her people, and I plan to live out my days here. Good enough for you? Ah, yes, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. I had my own speculations about the answer, but I must admit, it was quite moving to hear it in your own words. Why, you didn't even try to dress it up with more local flair. True, I suppose you're dressed with a bit of color. Where'd you get the fur collar? Ah, this is from a souvenir shop I'm rather partial to. It's quite warm. Alright. It's getting late and the banquet should be drawing to an end soon, so I won't pester you any longer. Though I wasn't fortunate enough to win your signature, I do want to say one thing. I enjoyed our chat very much, madam.
Please, watch your step, Sir Enciodas.
Enciodas, I brought the car. Thank you, uncle. Are you returning to the mansion?
Back to the office.
Enciodas? Well, he said. There are still some chores I need to take care of.
Long time no see, Uncle Chester.
Saintus.
Just call me by name on these occasions.
Enya, I'm so glad to see you safe and sound.
The feeling is mutual. I'm relieved that you're in good health.
Now then, I shall take my leave, Holy Saintus, Sir Enciodas.
Very well. My lord.
Yes, Holy Saintus.
All else aside, I hope you have a wonderful time in Kjerag.
Thank you for your kind words.
Kjer. Yes, Saintus. Please have the maids clean the mess. Oh, there's no need for that. The good soldiers not only helped clean everything up, but even took away the leftover food. They said they were going to bring it to the infected soldiers who weren't able to attend the banquet. This Viscount actually seems quite respectable. It feels as if he's playing the villain. Though I trust that's something Sir Enciodas here can relate to.
You flatter me, Saintus.
It's getting dark. Be careful on your way back.
You too. Saintus.
Did you need something else?
In the name of Kjeragandr, Kjerag has arrived where she is today, despite the gulf between us. What would Kjeragandr think, were she to look down upon her land today? Would she condemn us?
Are you getting cold feet?
Of course not. The miracle 3 years ago will forever be engraved in the hearts of all Kjerag. Even I must admit that Kjeragandr indeed is the bedrock of this land. We are all but children playing atop her body.
If so, that question isn't for me to answer. Perhaps it's not for her to answer either.
Alright, we're back. I can go the rest of the way myself. Oh, really? It was just a minor miscalculation. Hold on. I need a moment. Certainly. No, not at the main door. Head around the side. What's the problem? Worried someone might see you? Someone might be working overtime. Who'll be working overtime at this hour? Me. And you too, probably. Are you complaining that I haven't given you enough overtime pay? Alright, Gnosis, sit down already. Nobody will see the drunken and indecent behavior of the CTO. If you ask me, you're holding your own image. Too high a standard. You're a lot more talkative after a few drinks, Enciodas. If anything, you owe Degenbrecher more overtime pay.
He actually owes me a few lives. Too lazy to keep count. The two leaders of Harlan Trade squatting in the lobby of the company headquarters in the middle of the night to discuss unpaid wages.
Gnosis is fighting on your behalf.
Did the booze melt his brain?
It's not like I got sloshed for your sake. Degenbrecher looks over at Enciodas, who only gives a shrug.
What an embarrassment.
Degenbrecher hands the canteen of water she brought over to Enciodas,
and the latter naturally reaches out to accept it. The last decade has seen countless such memories. Do you still remember Walden's?
Who?
The first time you had to carry me and Gnosis back. Oh, that banquet.
Yes. Where Gnosis got pissed drunk, and you didn't, yet you were worse for wear because of it.
Look at him now. His liver is clearly a lot tougher these days. At least he is not passing out all over the place.
You sure this one's still conscious?
Before you two start bad-mouthing me to my face. Can you bring me some hangover remedy?
The man slumped over on these steps does not lift his head, merely stretching his hand out toward his ill-spirited friend. Degenbrecher raises her eyebrows, then takes a pack of pills out of her pocket and places them in Gnosis' hand. She watches him open up the blister pack with practiced motions and swallows the contents along with a big gulp of water. After a while, she lets out a sigh of relief.
That's a bit better. But this doesn't seem to be the same medicine I took before.
It's not a hangover cure. It's a poison I made. Ensiodes put me up to it.
Yes, quite right. Is it so? Then why am I not dead yet? Doesn't seem like your poison's very effective. Oh, Dul, are you two not tired of this routine yet?
I thought it was pretty funny. It was more fun back when you actually believed it and tried to make yourself vomit.
That was years ago.
But that was a different pill, wasn't it? It didn't look the same as the previous one.
Riley sent it. He often goes drinking with the Victorians and says this one works better.
Ensiodes, it seems that Degenbrecher has become the most popular of us three among the people of Kjerag.
Notice the promotional pictures of the Black Knight hanging of the Burden Beast billboards by the station.
Hand drawn too.
Is that a problem?
Of course not. I've become increasingly busy in recent years and have neglected many things. Once the situation calms a bit, Gnosis and I really need to start going out more often.
That's for sure. If you don't show your face in the public every once in a while, people will start to worry about your private life. One popular line of speculation is that you've thrown yourself into work as you've been heartbroken over certain things. There are quite a few variations too. Want me to give you a rundown?
I pray you don't choke to death, laughing and vomiting at the same time, Gnosis. If you could laugh like that all the time, our employees wouldn't be so afraid of you.
Before I croak, I'll make sure to puke all over your shoes.
So, how'd your discussion today go? Reach any agreement? When it comes to matters concerning Kjerag, there aren't actually that many differences between me and the Saintess.
What about between you and the girl named Enya?
The only problems worth talking about are those that can be resolved. If I had to do things over again, I'd make the same decisions every time, and she'd still never feel good about it. We all know that deep down. So, say what you will, but you'll never tell that to her face.
You're not much better, Gnosis. You're two peas in a pod. Never saying what needs to be said to the people who need to hear it. Also, you should be playing that right about now.
The lights of the office still shine bright in the night. The heating in the main hall is shut off, and silence spreads freely throughout the room, along with the cold. A moment later, the silence is broken by the sound of noses retching.
Degenbrecher, I need another pill. My head hurts.
And a couple for me too. I might be a bit tipsy. Both men stretch out their hands towards Degenbrecher at the same time. That unflappable attitude that someone there knows the truth makes Degenbrecher tingle with irritation for some reason. There are still many questions that cannot be answered. But at least, here, right in this moment, there is no need to show off, no need for pretense. Degenbrecher heeds her own will and slaps each of the two hands in turn. Oh? Stand up. Go home already, if you're drunk. Don't squat here. There's a lot of work to be done tomorrow. Now, go. Well, that was a lovely little scene. From the siblings just bickering at each other to Harold apparently... He just likes to poke the hornet's nest, doesn't he? He just keeps going after Degenbrecher to get a stupid autograph. He's gonna get his face caved in at some point. And then he's gonna get his autograph. But anyway, and then... Noses hurling everything out of himself. Amazing. While the other two are just shooting the shit. Those three are best buddies. You can tell. But yeah, anyway, we move on to our final stage for today, which is number 5. Titled Train Hopping. We must all settle our scores sooner or later. Let's begin.
What happened? What's with all the empty bottles on the floor? Oh, why was I sleeping here? Rosalind, you're a good kid. Arctus, you disgrace. Dad? Huh? Oh. What did you wake me up for? Can an old man take a nap in peace? No, hold on. Dad, when did you get home? Why didn't you let me know you were coming? What happened yesterday? How did we end up sleeping on the floor? Quit your yapping. It's giving me a headache. Sir, Master. I'm so glad you're both finally awake. Gula, what happened here? The two of you got drunk and didn't want to stop drinking, and our efforts to convince you to return to your rooms to sleep were in vain. I could only feed 2 more batches of firewood to the furnace so it wouldn't get too cold in here. Sir, do you not remember what happened yesterday? Wait, let me think. Yesterday. I remember I was to prepare for the banquets to celebrate the completion of Kjeragandr's statue. The scientists asked me to select the best drinks Kjerag has to offer, so I was testing them one by one. And then after that, I don't remember much. Of course you don't. You were so drunk you couldn't tell people apart, and even tried to toast to a pillar while hugging it. At your age, what an embarrassment. Enough, Dad. Was I not doing it for the Saints for Kjerag? Gula's still here, so could you ease up on the scolding before I lose any more respect? I always thought your respect is something you earn on your own, so why ask me to leave any for you? Forget it. I'll bicker with you no longer.
Gula, where's Rosalind? She went up the mountain first thing in the morning, Master. What? She woke up early while the both of you were still asleep, and she said to let you sleep a while longer. I thought's the same, so I didn't wake you. I guess it's fine for her to just leave like that. Perhaps this was Kjeragandr's plan for the pale roaches. They met, they didn't realize, so I guess this means it was just not meant to be. Indeed. What are you riddling about now, Dad? I vaguely remember a young girl coming here yesterday, but I did drink too much. I can't remember what she looked like. You say her name was Rosalind? Arctos, come here. I should not hide this from you. Same as you made your own choice back then. What should be done next is ultimately up to you. By Kjeragandr, the regenerations really drank the night away. Even dragged me in with the other guards too. It's been a long time since I drank so much. And I didn't get any business done at all. Since going roundabout didn't work, let's just go head on. Judging from the direction, Rosalind probably went up the mountain.
Oh, this is one of those snowy mountains. It's even more spectacular up close. Kjerag's mountains sure are impressive. I'm a little dizzy. Really went overboard on the drinks last night. Wonder if those guys are awake yet. Why didn't the doctor tell me how enthusiastic Kjerag people can be? I should give them something as thanks when I get down the mountain later. Sheesh, it's freezing. The wind's pretty painful.
Said the girl in the sailor uniform with open belly button. Sorry.
If I remember right, you're supposed to climb up this mountain on your own to prove your faith to Kjeragandr? It's really tall. But since I'm already here, I might as well try. Huh?
Hey, look everybody, it's female tourist A and B. Oh gosh, I wonder who they could be. They're unrecognizable. Oh my god. Best comment who they are is gonna be the top comment on the next episode at the beginning. Go wild.
The purest air from up in the mountains? Sounds pretty good to me. Do you take cards here? Alright. Then give me 2 boxes. Send them to the Burton Peak Hotel, room 606.
You got it.
Wow, Sophia, you're buying even more stuff? Didn't you buy 4 boxes of mountain spring water yesterday? How are we going to bring it all back? Don't be silly. Who says we have to bring them home ourselves? I'll send a box each to Melinda and Margaret. I probably haven't even bought enough yet. Kjerag's air and water are plenty impressive. The Black Knight came here a good long while ago, so she should be living pretty well now. Alright, enough of that. I hear you have to climb Kjerag's mountains yourself as a show of devotion. Come on, let's get climbing. They do mention as much in the travel brochure. Let's see who can reach the summit first, Sophia.
Riley, why didn't you tell them we have a cable car that goes up the mountain?
The tourists have their own ideas. Who am I to tell them otherwise?
Fair enough. Seems like tourists are the only ones who like to climb these days. They're right though.
Let's go take the cable car.
Really? Won't Kjeragandr see it as a lack of faith?
Nonsense! Kjeragandr granted us this convenience because she loves her people. Insisting on climbing would show a lack of faith in Kjeragandr.
Huh?
What do you mean, huh? We're all Kjeragandr's children. As long as you respect her and keep her in your heart, she'll protect us all.
Whew. You can actually ride a cable car up to the mountain? Why are tourist spots the same everywhere? I better follow the locals. Even though I don't know what it means to have faith in Kjeragandr at all. But Kjeragandr must be protecting Kjerag, judging by how things are going. Hey! Old man in front! Can you tell me where to get cable car tickets? Thanks for pointing the way!
Sir, please hold on. Who are you? What's with the get-up? I'm a reporter from Victoria, you see. People praise the Kjeragandr statue, but surely building it must have been a waste of resources. I'm currently collecting some. Get lost! My son who works on the statue sends me money every month, and even calls me to tell me how good work is over there. You foreigners are just salty about how wonderful Kjerag is. Then why hasn't he returned? He said he signed some agreement, so he has to stay there. What was it again?
Non-disclosure.
Do you need an NDA to build a statue? I'm warning you, foreigner. Any more guff out of you and I'll give you a taste of my walking stick. Huh? Where'd you go?
I have no idea what the melody for this is, so just go with it.
Praise Kjeragandr. Brave bird and beasts, brave people, Kjeragandr guides us to protect our homeland. Huh? The snow here doesn't seem right. Oh!
Careful. There's a trap down there. You alright?
Oh, Madam Degenbrecher. Where did this hole come from? That Riley must have dug it out to catch game. Many thanks. I would have fallen down the hole if it weren't for you.
You're welcome.
Do you have business on the mountain today, madam? Anything that we can help you with? I have plans with Riley, Leon, and the other guys to go up the mountain today, so just let us know if you need anything.
I have a bit of work to do, but I'll be fine on my own. Are you and old Riley still drinking with the Victorians?
Yeah, I've been competing to see who can drink more, and it's a tie at the moment. None of us are giving up, because it'd be embarrassment for Master Enciotus and the Saintess if we lost to the Victorians. Also, they just suddenly came in here and set up camp. What do you think is going on? I have the proper education, but even I know a sudden flood of people here, all hale and healthy even, can't possibly be a good thing. That's why Riley and I were thinking we could keep an eye on them for Sir Enciotus with the drinking, at the very least. So don't worry, we'll definitely win.
Fine. It would be great if you could drink till they puke. Just call me if you can't. Don't push yourselves. Did you decide to watch the Victorians on your own?
We thought it up with the other villagers. All of us agreed to it. We've been living much better these days, and since we know now how good things can be, we're not gonna let anyone ruin it for us. But madam, I should be honest with you. Just don't get angry with me.
Sure, go on.
I just wanted to say, these Victorians we've been drinking with. We've come to know them pretty well over the past month, and brushing the other stuff aside, they aren't bad guys. They don't cause too much trouble, even when drunk, and sometimes they come over to help out with work. There's a guy with bones about as old as mine.
He only goes a little mad when he's drunk, but he doesn't do much other than strip off his clothes to try and swim in the snow. I saw him back then. It was in bad shape. I don't know what he has suffered, but it hurts to even look at. It hurts to think about now.
I might as well tell you this. A Victorian Viscount has come to join the celebrations for Kjeragandr's statue, and he's brought his personal army along. Most of them are veterans who have been fighting alongside him for a long time.
Oh.
There's no need to think too much, just enjoy your drinks together.
I don't get it. What's the difference between a personal and regular army? But they did look far from young, and a few of them seems to have stones growing on their bodies. That should be the stone disease. I've seen it in the news before.
A ripathy. Most of the time, nothing happens when you come into contact with it, so you needn't be too worried. But you should still take some precautions. You can go to Rhode Island's office in the city, or the newly built hospital for information on how to protect yourself.
That we know, so don't worry, madam. I just wanted to have a chat with you anyways. I wouldn't dare to disturb Silenciones or Cernoses.
Oh? You're saying I look idle?
That's not what I meant. I mean, them sirs are busy with their big projects all day long, so it'd be no good for us to disturb them. You help us out regularly, even though you're so busy too. We know you're on the same side as us. You're one of us.
One of you.
Wait, no, I mean, those sirs are our people too. I'm bad with words, but you know what I mean. Am I wasting your time, madam?
It's fine. There's something I need to trouble you and the rest of on the mountain for.
Just say the word.
Help me find a pretentious Victorian.
What?
He wears a top hat and a black coat with the collar covering his face. Some gemstones too. It's easy to spot such a conspicuous figure.
What's this fella doing with that sort of outfit in Kjerag?
Who knows? Probably something stupid.
Alright, leave it to us. I'll send over old Leon's burden beast the moment we get any news. Are you serious, Dad? The girl yesterday, she's Rosalind? My daughter? I doubt I'm wrong. The girl looks just like you and Tatiana too. My eyes are still good enough. I'm not wrong. Really? My daughter? I didn't say she was a good kid. Good stature, good character even. Wonderful. Rosalind. Rosalind. She looks like me. Yes, like me. I remember now. She has the same hair color. Her eyes and mouth are Tatiana's, especially her eyes. They're exactly the same. So pretty. Time flies. Little Rosalind has already grown so big, in just a blink of an eye. Wait, did she go up the mountain? When is she coming back? Will she come back? Arcturus, there's something else. We can talk about her later. I have to prepare some gifts for my daughter. I remember she loved baked sweet cheese and beef stew when she was little, so I'm off to buy some now. Tatiana, is she here too? Does she not want to see me? Then Alright, no matter. I'll straight up the mountain and give them to Rosalind. And then I'll ask her about Tatiana. Arctos! What is it? I need to hurry! Stop right there! Just stay. You need to hear this. Arctos stops in his tracks from his father's yelling, and an ill omen stirs uncontrollably in his heart. Perhaps it's his hangover, but a sudden headache descends on him. His stomach seems to drop to the floor,
and his back feels as if something cold is creeping up on him. Only now does Arctos realize his father's back, which he has not seen in a long time, is slightly stooped, like a wilting tree, no longer tall and upright as he remembered. But the dry and aged voice of the devotee continues, undeterred by Arctos' panic.
Rosalind told me she and her mother had been living in Ursus since they left. She was too young to remember anything of this place. She said she never knew who her father was all the time she grew up. And this time she's here not only to see our Kjeragandr statue, but also she's brought back her mother's remains.
The ill omens always seem to bear out. The wind and snow roaring outside their home, the flames flickering inside the furnace, and even their indistinguishable breathing all seems to freeze for a moment.
What? Remains? What do you mean? But Tatiana was so young. How could she? I don't believe it. How could that be? I heard it from the girl myself. What happened back then? It was Clan Paleroach that failed mother and daughter. I carry the shame in my heart, but not regret. What about you, Arctos? Fine, it doesn't matter what you want to say. There's no point telling me. Your father is no perfect man nor a saint, and certainly not the victim here. This old man is too old to hear you out, let alone offer any advice. I only wish to spend the rest of my day sweeping the dust at Kjeragandr's feet. But you should think carefully. Tatiana, Rosalind. Sir, Master. Matriarch Rotatus is here. She says there's something urgent to discuss.
The place reeks of booze. The ceremony is tomorrow, Arctos. Don't you think too much and ruin it all?
I'm in no mood to play with you. Just tell me what happened. You're not the type to make social calls, Rotatus.
You sure know me well. Fine, I'll get straight to the point, Arctos. I came here to tip you off. I still recall that you married a Nursine woman despite your family's objections, and even had a child with her. Something happened to the Silberneherze, and soon after your wife left Kjerag with daughter in tow. This affair was kept within the three clans, but it was no secret to us.
I see your nose is as sharp as ever.
I'll take that as a compliment. I'm here to tell you about your daughter, the girl named Rosalind.
What happened to her? You better not be taking advantage of the situation. She has nothing to do with our clan's business.
I'm not here to settle any old scores, but her ultimate return is really unfortunate. Do you know where she is right now? She's probably already in the sights of a Victorian spy. Finally! But the cable car only goes up this far, and I have to climb the rest myself? Well, the summit isn't that far anyway. I could still see a few tourists earlier, but now there's no one else around. White everywhere. Sheesh, it's a little scary. Huh?
Oh, unlucky.
What was that?
Ever since I came to Kjerag, not a single thing has gone smoothly.
Who's that? Come on out! Don't even think you can scare me. Is that A hole? Who could be so bored as to dig a hole by the trail? No, it can't just be a hole. It's a trap!
Sure enough, a trap indeed. Watch your step, madam. Also, if it's not too much of a bother, could I, trouble you to pull me up?
Grab my hand! Alright!
We've met on the train back there, but I never imagined you'd save my life here. Fortunate for you to be here to lend me a hand. Who knows how long I'd be stuck in here otherwise. Thank you very, very much for your altruistic assistance, Madam Rosalind, Tatianova, or Larina.
Well, wasn't much. Don't mention it. You definitely don't look like a local, so I'm guessing you're a tourist going up the mountain?
Precisely.
So why didn't you follow the main road instead of falling into a pitfall out here in the forest? What were you gonna do if I didn't happen to pass by?
I was merely attracted by the scenic view and didn't expect to run into a trap like this in the snow. If you hadn't happened by, perhaps I would have stayed here for a while longer. I had to calm down first before figuring out a way to climb out myself. But now I see how fortunate I am. Madam Larina, are you going to continue your journey up the mountain?
Huh? Yeah, I am.
We could travel together for a while, if you wouldn't mind. I'd like to admire the view of Kjerag's mountains from the summit as well.
Sure. I don't mind. Let's go. We still have a long way to the top.
That was...
Riley! I just checked our traps and saw a pitfall collapsed. Thought we caught something. But when I took a look, there was nothing inside. Guessing it might have escaped.
Did you see the man who passed by earlier? Doesn't he look like the guy Turios asked us to look out for?
You mean the one Degenbrecher asked us to find?
All dressed in black, pretentious looking, wearing a hat and hiding his face. No doubt about it. Come, let's hurry back and tell Degenbrecher.
Hey, say, I still don't know your name. Aren't you guys pretty particular about, introducing yourselves when you first meet?
An oversight on my part. You may call me John Smith, or anything you prefer.
John? The name John Smith
What do you think of it?
sounds right out of a spy movie I watched with a doctor. Yeah, that was definitely the name of the spy guy. I remember he had a really pretty sidekick too, so John, you... Never mind, coming up to this makeout point all alone means you're definitely single.
A fascinating coincidence.
Right. Alright, let's get back on track. I figure we still have a while to go before the summit. I heard it gets colder the higher you go, and it gets harder to breathe too. So, you tired yet? Need a break?
Please, don't worry about me. Do you need to rest, Madam Larina?
Nah, I'm good. You've got some real stamina, huh, Mr. Spy?
Seems like you really deceived him.
I fabricated no lies, Degenbrecher. There is no sleeping your average falsehoods by Trilby collecting information for his duke. But I'm fully aware that these types usually know suspicion best. The heir to the Pale Roach clan has secretly returned to the country is a reality he first discovered by himself, so he'll believe it. And will definitely be watching Rosalind Tatianova Larina.
Your guesses are always right. The girl's already on the mountain, and Ratatos has contacted Arknights. I hear tell the Degenbrecher is also on his way up. He's hiding from me.
No matter. Just make sure he remains focused on the girl. It's time for you to move as well.
Fine, I'll treat it as a after-meal exercise. However, are you sure the doctor won't mind you letting the Degenbrecher close to the girl?
He's a spy, not an assassin. Rather, what he's after is information, not a life.
Is that how you plan to explain it to the doctor?
To the doctor I shall offer my apologies.
You certainly owe them.
How I act is unimportant, rather I'm more curious. Degenbrecher, you remember the doctor?
Sharp's a good opponent, stronger than most of those clumsy knights. There's no harm in noting down someone who has the respect of a warrior like that, and can also make you suffer.
You're curious about the doctor?
You could put it that way. Alright, the idle chatter stops here. I'm going to work.
We're finally here! Whew. We must have climbed for a few hours. I'm beat. No wonder everyone quits halfway. That was exhausting. Though... the view up here is really pretty. Isn't it Lake Silberneherze over there? The Kjeragandr statue looks smaller than my thumb from up here.
Lake Silberneherze freezes over in the winter and resembles a pure and clear gemstone when viewed from its peak. As such, the locals here believe the lake is a precious stone bestowed by Kjeragandr. Truly a view you can only see from such a height.
It does look like a gem. Oh, you can even see the station over there. Huh, there's actually plenty of railroads in Kjerag, but the trains all look like toys from here.
I wouldn't call this plenty for a country that's still developing. It might seem like a lot, but that's because Lake Silberneherze and the Kjeragandr statue are here. There might be more roads around Karlin currently, but the operating lines will all pass through and transfer here. They will, won't they?
Hey, John, you still with us? I need a favor. Can you help me see if there are two trees growing into each other around here? They should be old with intertwining branches, and they look pretty strange too.
It would be my pleasure.
Appreciate it. You know, John, aren't you curious why I'm looking for those trees? Or what I'm doing up here on the mountain? I mulled it over and decided to handle things the old-fashioned way.
What?
Fess up, and I'll move.
What is the meaning of this, Madame Larina?
You're not supposed to say that line yet. I haven't even done anything to you. Spit it out, though. You've been following me for ages, just following. What are you after here?
I don't understand.
Quit playing dumb. I don't remember telling you my name.
This is a misunderstanding. You know the Viscount Harold Craigavon and I have history together, and it was he who told me your name.
No. You think I'm stupid? I never told him my full name either. And you managed to climb up the summit without taking a single break. There's no way you could have fallen into a simple hunter's trap. Even if you did, you could have just climbed out. Anna and the girls always tell me to think before I act, but I have to say, sometimes there is no use in thinking too much either.
You are much more careful than I expected, Madame Larina.
So you admit it. John Smith is probably a fake name too, right? Maybe you really are a spy?
What if I said yes?
Then you'd be pretty bad at your job. 'Cause even I could tell something was up. Sing!
Your accusations is absolutely correct. It's true. I've been quite careless, and life in Kjerag has made me so. I have considerable freedom here, and there are many who pose a threat to me.
Ha! Look at you talk! I'm warning you, you better behave, and don't move an inch. You're standing on the edge of a cliff, and there's nothing but snow under your feet. I just have to stomp my feet, and you're falling, and I can't promise I'll catch you if that happens.
Alright, Madame Lorena, I'll come clean. Yesterday...
Victorian scum! Arctos is here. You stay away from her.
Whoa, where did you come from? Wait, watch your footfalls, the snow! Whoa!
Rosalind? Where am I?
It's somewhat funny, but Arktos is clearly charging toward me. Could Rosalind really have come here for something? No matter. He's coming, and I can only jump. The Black Knight.
All rested up?
Not yet.
That's no good. It'll be less fun to fight.
Going straight into it.
No problem with that?
I'll get straight to my point too then. You convinced the Viscount that everything on the train was a misunderstanding. I was only half convinced at the time. But now I know that even the stately Black Knight tells lies.
That only proves that you don't know me at all. There's still time to turn around and go down the mountain for a nice lunch.
I'm sorry, but I tend to throw myself fully into my work.
And there we have it. I know this is a bit of a cliffhanger, but we're gonna continue this very, very soon. But before we do so, before I leave you guys off, we have one quick thing to add here, which is... Oh no, it's adorable! The Frozen Mountain Burden Beast. And it says, Mountain Burden Beast buried by a sudden avalanche. Its thick layer of fat will help it survive the worst of it until rescue arrives. It is so adorable! Anyway. This will be it for today. Next time we're gonna be continuing and probably finishing it off. I am not 100% sure. I will see how dense the last section of the story is. Right now, this midsection has been a bit denser than the actual beginning of the story, quite honestly. As the length of this episode, I think, is about the same as the previous one, but I'm gonna see that when I'm done editing this whole thing together. But yeah, interesting stuff is happening. We'll see where this goes and what other... Who the hell knows who else is gonna appear in this story. If those two suddenly appeared as tourists, I have no idea who else is in here. We'll see if there are more. But that will be for my next recording section. I will also check, obviously, when I'm done recording the cutscenes for just the story here, if Leto's operator record and some other things are gonna be fitting into this whole story and add them then at the end of that episode, but that will be for the final part. And yes, as per usual, the final parts will be super long compared to the rest of the series, but that's apparently how I roll with this stuff. You guys should be used to that by now. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, watching. If you did like this video, please consider leaving a like on it. It would help me out a lot. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, because there is a ton on the channel if you just want to sit back, relax, and listen to Arknights stories. And of course, if you want to support me more directly, there are memberships on the channel, multiple of them with different price values. And like I always say, there will be no video behind any kind of paywall. It's literally just there to, you know, more directly support the channel and everything else. And yeah, thank you very much. Hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Potentially the finale. We'll see. But until then, bye-bye.